There is a version of British healthcare that exists entirely outside of the NHS. A version where the waiting list is not 18 months, it is 48 hours. A version where the ward does not smell like floor cleaner and anxiety. Where your room has a view of Buckingham Palace's back garden. Where the consultant treating you was hand-picked by invitation only and will not be seeing 40 other patients today. We are talking about private hospitals that looked at the entire concept of public health care, considered it briefly, and said, we'll be doing something else. Today, we are covering the 7 most expensive hospitals in the UK. And if your first reaction is that this can't be real, it is. All of it. The UK private healthcare market reached roughly $13.8 billion in 2025. That is not a rounding error. That is a functioning parallel health system sitting right next to the NHS, and it has been growing fast. From 2022 to 2025, private healthcare costs surged 20 to 24%. Energy costs, labor shortages, the fact that when you strip away NHS funding structures, healthcare gets extremely expensive extremely quickly. The floor price for a standard private hospital room in the UK is $275 a night. London, premium hospital groups and upgraded suites push prices considerably higher. And then there are the hospitals on this list, where the floor is not a floor at all. It is simply where the pricing starts before it begins climbing. 7. The Cromwell Hospital, South Kensington, London. The Cromwell Hospital is a private sector hospital in South Kensington, operated by international healthcare company Bupa. That is the polished version. The less polished version is that this hospital was originally built to provide healthcare for the Abu Dhabi royal family, which contextualizes everything about its positioning. Bupa acquired it in 2008. The clientele never really changed. The Cromwell has over 500 accredited consultants, mainly drawn from London's teaching hospitals, covering over 70 specialties. 70 specialties. Most people cannot name 70 specialties. The Cromwell can staff all of them. The hospital offers access to some of the most technologically advanced treatments and facilities, including a dedicated heart and lung center and integrated cancer campus, all under one roof. One roof in South Kensington, where the postcode alone carries the weight of an entire lifestyle bracket. The Cromwell uses advanced robotic surgical technologies and specialized follow-up care, and has welcomed patients from over 140 countries. 140 countries! There are 195 countries on Earth. The Cromwell is pulling from 72% of the planet. That is not a hospital that is competing locally. That is a hospital that has decided it operates in a global market and has priced accordingly. London's private healthcare market operates at a 22.9% premium to the national average. Central London and the West End command up to 40% above the national average. The Cromwell is not in central London in the abstract tourist brochure sense. It is sitting in one of the most expensive residential postcodes in the entire country, surrounded by embassies and Georgian townhouses, and that geography costs money that ends up on your invoice. 6. King Edward VII's Hospital, Marylebone, London. King Edward VII's Hospital is a private hospital located on Beaumont Street in the Marylebone district of central London. That sentence is accurate and it tells you almost nothing useful. Here is what tells you something useful. The hospital was established in 1899 at the suggestion of the Prince of Wales, the future King Edward VII, who went on to become the hospital's patron. The hospital was founded on the personal recommendation of a future monarch. That is the origin story. That is what you are buying when you walk through the door. With just 56 beds, King Edward VII offers truly personalized medical care. 56 beds. The Wellington Hospital, which we will get to shortly, has over 500. King Edward VII has 56. That is not a hospital that's scaled for volume. That is a hospital that decided volume was beside the point. Consultants are world-class and hand-picked by invitation only, not hired, invited. There is a meaningful difference, and the hospital knows it. The hospital has been used by various members of the British royal family, including Queen Elizabeth II, the Queen Mother, Princess Margaret, Prince Philip, Catherine, the Princess of Wales, King Charles III, Queen Camilla, and Sarah Ferguson. That is not a patient list, that is a guest roster. When the people responsible for the crown jewels use your hospital as their default option, you are operating in a category where pricing is secondary to reputation. The hospital is an independent charitable institution, which means it is not for profit, as a royal charter dating to 1930 has been treating royalty for over a century and still manages to charge rates that would make most people reconsider their life choices. Being a charity does not mean being cheap. It means the surplus gets reinvested rather than extracted. And at King Edward VII's, that reinvestment buys you 56 beds of near total privacy in central London's most discreet postcode. 5. The Portland Hospital, Great Portland Street, London. The Portland is the only hospital in the UK which focuses on providing private healthcare solely to women and children. It is not just expensive, it is exclusive in two directions simultaneously. Exclusive by specialty, exclusive by price, and it has positioned those two things as a single compelling argument. The Portland is the only fully private maternity hospital in the UK, and more than 1,600 babies are delivered there every year. 1,600 babies a year, privately in central London, each one arriving into a room with ensuite bathroom, air conditioning, and a consultant obstetrician who is not also managing the rest of the ward. Let us discuss what that costs. The cost of an elective private cesarean section at the Portland Hospital is £9,300, and that is before consultant professional fees, which can cost up to £12,000. So the ceiling on a planned C-section is over £20,000. And that ceiling does not include the epidural, which is priced at $995 plus $85 for each top-up. The epidural has a top-up charge. They have itemized pain relief. You are in active labor and the invoice is still accumulating. The Portland is the largest private children's hospital in the UK, with a dedicated intensive care unit that has 58 beds and over 150 consultant pediatricians. The children's side of the building has 150 consultant pediatricians. That number represents serious institutional depth. This is not a hospital that put a cheerful mural in a corridor and called it a pediatric ward. This is a hospital that built an entire parallel children's healthcare system and attached it to one of the most expensive maternity wards in the country. One real patient's birth bill at the Portland came to £19,073.30 for a standard delivery with 4 nights of additional care. That figure got posted to TikTok and went viral. The Portland did not comment. 4. The Harley Street Clinic, Harley Street, London. The Harley Street Clinic has built an international reputation for handling complex and acute medical conditions. Harley Street, as an address, is doing enormous work in that sentence. There are around 3,000 medical practitioners operating within the Harley Street district. It is the most concentrated medical postcode on Earth. And within that postcode, the Harley Street Clinic is the facility that makes the other facilities feel like they are still working on their positioning. The clinic is part of the HCA Healthcare UK network and stands out for advanced specialized care in oncology, cardiology, and neurosciences. Patients from across the globe choose this hospital for its combination of cutting-edge technology and consultant-led personalized treatment plans. The facility features a dedicated cancer center with advanced radiotherapy, including CyberKnife and Gamma Knife, for treating hard-to-reach tumors with sub-millimeter accuracy. Sub-millimeter accuracy on a brain tumor in a private hospital. The CyberKnife system alone costs millions of pounds to install and operate. It is not standard equipment. It is the kind of equipment you acquire when your patient base is coming from 140 countries and they are not coming for routine care. They are coming because they have exhausted other options or because they refuse to accept that there are other options. The Harley Street Clinic is one of the few private hospitals in the UK with a dedicated pediatric intensive care unit alongside a world-class adult cardiac unit, a private PICU. Pediatric intensive care is one of the most resource-intensive things medicine does. Running one privately in central London on Harley Street is a statement about what this institution has decided it is, and that statement costs money that gets transferred to the people who use it. HCA Healthcare UK consultation fees range from £200 to £500 or more, and their procedures command 30 to 50% premiums over the national average. 30 to 50% above an already elevated national average in a central London postcode that already carries its own premium delivered by consultants who can legally charge whatever the market will bear. The Harley Street Clinic is where that market tops out for outpatient care. 3. The Wellington Hospital, St John's Wood, London. The Wellington Hospital in St John's Wood is the largest private hospital in the UK, owned by the American company HCA Healthcare. The largest private hospital in the UK, not the most famous, not the oldest, the largest. And it is owned by Americans, which is a useful piece of context when you are trying to understand why the pricing structure operates the way it does. The Wellington has 52 departments. The Wellington is not a hospital in the way most people use the word. It is a campus. It comprises a south building, a north building, a diagnostics and outpatient center, and the Platinum Medical Center for Oncology. The south building opened in 1974. By the time they finished building everything, they had created something that functions less like a single hospital and more like a private healthcare city-state. The Wellington's cardiac unit is considered a center of excellence, and its knee unit is the only devoted knee surgery department in London, receiving over 2,000 pediatric and adult patients per year. A department dedicated exclusively to knee surgery, with over 2,000 patients a year. There is enough demand for a standalone knee hospital inside London's largest private hospital that they built one. Think about what that says about the volume of wealthy people in this city who have decided their knees deserve dedicated attention. HCA procedures command 30 to 50% premiums over the national average. At the Wellington, an orthopedic procedure that averages £14,000 nationally can exceed £22,000. That additional £8,000 buys you the Wellington postcode, the Wellington team, the Wellington brand, and the understanding that if your surgery goes wrong, you are inside the largest private hospital in the country with the deepest resources available. That is worth something. Whether it is worth £8,000 extra is a calculation each patient makes privately.
2. The London Clinic, Marylebone, London. The London Clinic was established in 1932 with an aim to provide the best quality medical services and is today considered among the largest private hospitals in the UK. It has won Best Private Hospital in London at the London Health and Wellbeing Awards, Best Cancer Care Provider in the UK at the Lang Buisson Awards, and Best Hospital Group in the UK at the Health Investor Awards. It has collected enough trophies to furnish a separate room. The fact that it describes itself as a charity, an independent hospital that reinvests its surplus profit, is one of the more interesting pieces of framing in UK private healthcare. Not for profit, award-winning, charging rates that would make your eyes water. The London Clinic offers all-inclusive packages for many treatments, covering appointments, tests, procedures, medication, and more. The price will not change, and if you require extra tests or procedures beyond the original plan, the package covers it. That is the pitch. One number, no invoice surprises, no additional charges appearing after the fact like items you didn't order on a restaurant bill. The London Clinic's entire self-pay model is built around the idea that the worst thing about private healthcare is opening the itemized statement afterwards, and they have priced away that anxiety by absorbing everything into a single upfront figure. The fact that absorbing everything into a single upfront figure at the London Clinic results in a number that is very large indeed is something they present as a feature rather than a concern. The London Clinic has over 1,000 nursing, clinical, and support staff, and patient rooms are equipped with every comfort, along with concierge services for international patients. Concierge services for international patients. The London Clinic is not simply treating illness, it is running a luxury hospitality operation that happens to have operating theaters. The distinction between those two things has blurred entirely, and the pricing reflects it. 1. Cleveland Clinic London, Belgravia, London. Cleveland Clinic's London Hospital cost $1 billion to build. $1 billion for a private hospital in the UK. That number deserves its own paragraph because there is genuinely no useful comparison available. You cannot contextualize a $1 billion private hospital. You can only stand in front of it. Cleveland Clinic London opened on 29 March 2022 at 33 Grosvenor Place in central London. The 8-story, 325,000 square foot hospital has 184 inpatient beds, including 29 ICU beds in 8 operating theaters, a 41-bed neurological rehabilitation ward, and a staff of approximately 1,150 caregivers. The ICU alone has 29 beds. That makes it the second largest private ICU in the UK after the Wellington Hospital. The second largest. Most private hospitals don't even have a private ICU. Cleveland Clinic London built one with 29 beds and considered it a starting point. From their 5th-floor patient rooms, patients have a direct view over Queen Elizabeth's back garden at Buckingham Palace. The view of the palace from the patient rooms is direct. The CEO was asked about the potential markup for such prime real estate and said simply, "The views are beautiful. We do not charge extra." They do not charge extra for the Buckingham Palace view. This is either generous or a sign that the baseline price is already sufficiently elevated that charging additionally for the view felt unnecessary. Either interpretation is telling. The neurological operating room is twice the usual size and opens straight onto an intraoperative MRI scanner, allowing brain surgeons to instantly confirm a tumor has been successfully removed before closing. An intraoperative MRI scanner attached to a double-doored operating theater in a private hospital in London. Cleveland Clinic London is one of the first private hospitals in the UK capable of conducting intraoperative imaging for brain and spinal cord disorders, a leading tool in preventing reoperations. Not many private hospitals anywhere have this. Cleveland Clinic London built it in because the version of healthcare they are selling does not include coming back for a second surgery when the first one could have been done correctly the first time. Cleveland Clinic signed a 123.5-year lease on the location. 123 years. They are not here to test the market. They are not here to see how private healthcare in the UK develops. They committed to 123 years before they opened a single theater. That lease commitment is itself a statement about who they think they are and what they are building. Doctors at Cleveland Clinic London are understood to be paid up to £350,000 a year. £350,000 a year per physician. That is the cost of the talent, and that cost goes somewhere. It goes into procedure pricing, into daily rates, into the consultations that start at £200 and go significantly higher depending on what you need and who you need it from. And that's the list, the 7 most expensive hospitals in the UK, from a South Kensington institution that built its reputation treating Abu Dhabi royalty, all the way to a $1 billion American import sitting across the street from Buckingham Palace with a 123-year lease and no plans to leave. NHS waiting lists reached 7.36 million cases in 2025. That number is why this industry exists. The queue got long enough that people started paying to leave it, and the hospitals on this list looked at those people, at their resources, at their willingness to spend, and decided that the ceiling on what private healthcare could become had not yet been found. It still hasn't.